live without problems.
We can go live without problems because it's 8:03. Do you know where your podcast is at?
It's right here.
We're live. We're going. It's a moving. It's a grooving. Hey, we are live because that's what it says.
Moving to the grooving.
Yep. That's not what I want. Go back. Go back. I don't want to share everything with everybody.
Share everything.
Share everything about me and everybody
Share
about
isn't
me.
everything. Wait.
Share isn't
Especially Mamma Mia 2.
Actually, can you turn that light back on?
You would need those lights on.
Thank you.
It's the side lights.
Sad light.
How about this one? Does this one do something?
Not really. That one's probably fine.
Too much. Way too.
Malaya, you're excessive.
You tried, and that's the most important part. Malia, what are you doing in there?
I'm not doing anything.
I hear buzzing.
Ha 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 ha.
You want
Something
that
up
up.
there.
Yeah, you want that up.
I want that.
Yeah, you want that up. I want this up, and you want us guys to get going, right? Right. Get that billboard up.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Take my screenshots.
Come on, Matt. Last thing you had to do. Only thing you had. Well, not the only thing you had to do.
Oh, no. Wait, no.
You got it. I believe in you.
Alright, I did.
I believe in you like a hot fudge sundae.
I love hot fudge.
I know, right? That sounds so good.
Alright, let's go.
Live chat, up chat, and
Down
this is
chat.
where we actually start our official
Okay.
broadcast.
Watch this. This is gonna be a great intro right here. Yeah. That's the fizzy sound of the Media Pope podcast. Hello.
That's how you know we're going,
That's
and
how
we're
you
live.
know we're going and we're fizzy and we're
We're popping.
popping. I was gonna say that. Hi, it's the Media Pope podcast. This is the podcast
For sodas.
for sodas and also movies, television, video game, and music news. All of that and more. Not necessarily in that
All
order.
wrapped into a quite little ball.
Today is September. Yes, September.
Yes, the 12th.
September the 12th, 2018. This is episode 140.
Do we hit 140?
We hit big 140 this week.
All right.
Yes.
10 more till we hit a milestone? Is it 150 a milestone? I like to think it is.
I'd say that it is. Especially for us.
Yeah.
All of this is a milestone. Every episode's a milestone in my book.
Well, yes, because every episode we hit a new record of concurrent episodes.
Mhm.
Therefore, every episode is special.
Every episode is special, but this one is particularly special. We have a lot of stuff to get through here. We have big thoughts for you in video games. So
yeah.
let's get rolling right into it. We always start with movies, and we always start movies with the weekend box office numbers.
All right, so was Crazy Rich Asians on top yet again?
No, it did not roll over this week. Instead, your number one movie is The Nun.
Wait, there has to be some, right?
Yeah, it's The Nun.
But something has to be there.
It's The Nun, the movie The Nun.
All right, there's that bit.
Yes, we talked about last week. Horror movie The Nun is your number one movie with $53 million debut.
Yes, it went over 100 million with its international debut, making it the strongest. And I realized this is the Conjuring
Yes.
franchise.
That's it. Conjuring.
Yes, so this is the strongest debut for the Conjuring franchise because people like horror films about the Warrens or about the nuns. It's a horror film in September.
Sure. We're close enough to October.
Close enough. It's October.
It'll just be more from here on out.
Yeah.
Number two, coming in number two, another debut, Peppermint.
What?
It's my favorite gum flavor. Peppermint comes in at number two with $13 million.
Oh, the Jennifer Gardner.
Yes.
I'm going to turn into Electra, but not Electra. Be a badass because my family died.
Parents.
My family died.
Yes, that's that one. Number three is Crazy Rich Asians,
There's
making
it.
another $13 million this weekend.
Woo!
The Meg still hanging on there at number four with another $6 million.
I think it's still making money.
I would say it's got legs, but a shark with legs just doesn't seem right. Even a mega shark.
That would just mean it's like terrible, or it's terror on land as it is on
And
sea.
in sea. Number 5, rounding out your top 5 is Searching.
Hey, Searching. Still, go see that movie.
That's
I
$4
like
million to its $14 million total domestic gross.
That doesn't sound too good.
14 is low
Oh, yeah, but
for second week.
we also don't know how much this was made. Well, it depends, like, how much John Cho got paid.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
basically
so.
him, the movie.
Then upcoming releases this Friday, you have The Predator.
With Scott Hansen?
No,
Oh.
not that Predator. The Predator. That's your 2018 sequel to.
With
of
Shane-
course,
Is that starring Shane Black or written by Shane
I
Black?
believe it's written by Shane Black.
Not starring Shane
But
Black.
yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about The Predator later.
Yeah, we will.
A Simple Favor, also in theaters this week. What's The Simple Favor? Do you know?
This is a horror suspense drama filled
Ooh.
where a woman asks a simple favor to nanny her
Oh,
kids.
this is the Anna Kendrick movie.
Yes.
Okay.
And
this
then
is the Anna
disappears.
Kendrick thing. Right. Yes.
Right.
Anna
It's
Kendrick
this
in a
one.
dramatic role.
This is Gone Girl Light.
Okay.
Or when Gone Girl came out, this is like the thing they rushed to big into production because of Gone Girl.
Okay. And then lastly this week, Unbroken. Oh, sorry, not lastly. Second to last here. Unbroken, The Path to Redemption. Does this have anything to do with Unbroken, the movie?
No, and nor does it have to do with Unbroken, the Angelina Jolie film.
Okay. Then what
Or
is this?
Unbreakable. You
Ah.
think of Unbreakable and Unbroken.
Then what is Unbroken, The Path to Redemption?
I want to say this is a religious film, but that's just me spitballing here because I really don't remember what it was. Though I looked it up, I think this is one of those religious films, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
And what is that? It? Or-
There's one last movie, White Boy Rick.
Ah, yes, the indie. And I don't say indie darling because it's not out yet, but showing at your independent theater.
Mine?
Yes.
Oh.
And yours, and yours, and yours, and yours. It's White Boy Rick, starring one Matthew McConaughey.
Hey.
Has his son becomes a drug kingpin / FBI informant at the young tender age of 17.
Oh boy. Okay.
All take place in Detroit, so it makes sense.
Okay. Sure.
It's also in the 80s,
All right.
based on a true story, which is why it's an independent theater. But could also be an Oscar thing, because people. Check it out. It kind of looks interesting and kind of fun.
But that's an awful name.
White Boy Rick?
Yeah.
Well, it's about the kid. The kid's name is
I
Rick.
guess. But
And they call him
Oh, no.
White Boy Rick.
yeah, sure, but it's still a bad name. Like, the more you explain it, does not make the name better.
All right. They call the gang he's a part of call him White Boy Rick.
Again, not making it any better.
Okay. Name a better title.
I haven't seen the movie. I can't give a better title.
I gave you a brief description. Name
You're
a better
brief
title.
description. Let's move on. That does it for new releases this weekend. So that means I'm tossing it to you. Did you see any movies this week?
I almost did.
Okay, this isn't about almost.
Oh, okay. Then no, I did not. I will.
I can't watch it for you.
I looked at the theaters, looked at the times, and thought I could make this film. And then
Nope.
nope. And then
Well-
other stuff happened. I was like, okay, maybe not.
It just so happens I also did not watch any movies this week.
Oh,
So, let's
right
move
in the
on
chest.
then to movie news.
I've been slacking on watching movies lately.
Yeah, you have.
The lack of movie pass is
That'll do it.
really taking its
Yeah.
toll. Also, the lack of good movies out is really taking its toll.
It's a weird in-between time right now.
It is. It's
Um,
like good I don't have movie pass, but also
Yes.
good because there's not really good stuff out.
To use it.
Yeah.
Anyways. Alright, let's move on to movie news. Then
Okay.
Our first story is a follow-up about the Academy Awards and changes that were slated to happen for the 2019 ceremony.
So this is about that really controversial new topic or a new category they were going to announce.
Yeah, so that popular film category that had not been named,
Nor were there any criteria met for it.
nor was the criteria announced. We didn't know anything about it. Well, now we know that it won't be happening this year after all. The Academy is postponing the introduction of that new Oscar category that it intended to introduce. Following a special meeting of the Board of Governors, it will postpone the award and continue to discuss the idea for the new award and seek additional input regarding the new category. They explained that introducing the award 9 months into the year created challenges for films that had already been released. No, duh.
Also for any films that are in production. But then again, if you know what kind of film you're going to make going into it, if it's going to be, hey, we're going to try to make money, or this is going to be a Oscar contender.
Which is frustrating because it goes back to the whole question of why this even exists.
Right.
Because what do the studios do? Which Oscar do they want? It divides their attention, and I don't know. It's so pointless. I hope that they review it and decide not to do it. They also did clarify the other thing you don't have here that was in that little clarification.
Oh, about the timing
is
of everything.
What they're going to do with so we had previously said that part of this was they were going to shorten the broadcast by putting some awards during the commercial breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So they confirmed that will be happening for the 2019 ceremony. And what they'll do for future ceremonies is rotate those categories. So it won't be the same 2 awards every year. So, for example, for 2019, it could be documentary short and animated short. And then in 2020, it could be art direction and foreign film or something like that. And they'll just keep rotating them in and out. Except probably for the major awards. Major awards, like actor, director. Those won't move.
No. The big 5, and then usually songs, scripts, and costume usually won't move.
Yeah. So that's good news and bad news, I suppose. Bad news that they're still considering it, but good news that we won't have to deal with it yet.
Instead of doing a new award, I think they should do a post-Oscar look back, take a movie from 50 years ago that wasn't nominated but is now critically acclaimed.
Oh, like you have a retroactive.
Yeah, Oscar. A retro Oscar.
That would be pretty cool
for a 50-year-old movie.
I like that, but I feel like that's the opposite of what they're trying to do. They're not trying to entertain the old codgers. They're trying to get your 18 to 25s.
I know, but I just want.
They don't care about a movie from 1985 that got snubbed.
I know, but it also gives them a chance to be like, hey, this movie that everyone likes but nobody recognized at the time.
I guess, yeah. To a certain extent, you're probably right.
But also, you would have to wait 10, 15, 20 years in the future for it to catch up to stuff that we actually watched and liked.
Exactly, which is against their whole point.
Right.
But yeah. So we'll see what happens in 2020 with that award, because it will not be in the 2019 ceremony.
Okay, well, what's a film that won't get an award?
Probably The Predator, your big movie, and probably your number 1 next week.
Probably.
But Predator's in the news, though, for not so stellar reasons.
No, it has actually to do with Olivia Munn. Yes, she's in the film.
She is. So
1, she's in the film. 2,
she has an issue. Here's what's going on. So 20th Century Fox was just about to lock in the film. It was done. Until they had to cut a scene featuring someone named Steven Wilder Strigel. While he isn't a well-known actor or has any big roles, he is Shane Black, the director, his friend, and a registered sex offender.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So there was a predator on set.
He pleaded guilty in 2010. That's the easy joke, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Pleaded guilty in 2010 in an attempt to lure a 14-year-old female into a sexual relationship via the internet.
Can you say this without gritting your teeth and going,
It's awful.
I know it's awful, but you can at least say the story.
So Olivia Munn.
Without judging your... Yeah.
So Olivia Munn, who shared the only scene with him in the film, shared the information with Fox, and the studio quickly decided to cut him from the movie. Due to legal limitations that impede studios from running background checks on actors, that's a new one, Fox was not aware of Strigel's background. Shane Black knew of this, yet did not share the information with the cast, crew, or Fox prior to, during, or after production. Black still decided to put him in his films, including past films, including Iron Man 3 and The Nice Guys.
Oh, Iron Man 3.
This guy has been in stuff.
I wonder if Disney has some words about that now.
I'm sure they do now, but they can't do anything about it anymore.
Yeah.
He's not in the movie.
Well, they're also not hiring Shane Black for anything.
So not now, probably. So yeah, I think that the ball's now in Shane Black's court to say something about this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's his friend.
It's his friend.
I mean, I'm all for
Helping a friend
someone-
out.
Well, no, I was gonna say, assuming someone, this is 2010.
Right.
Maybe Shane Black has, maybe he trusts the dude to not engage in that kind of behavior anymore. Maybe there's some sort of element of that. But at the same time, I feel like if you can't move into a house without knowing what sexual offenders are in your neighborhood, then you shouldn't be able to hire one for your movie without knowing that.
Yeah.
Like, that seems to be the problem, and the real core of the story is, how do these studios like Fox not have background checks on their actors? I have to do a background check every time I do a job interview.
Mm-hmm.
What makes acting different?
It's a job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems bizarre that they don't do background checks for actors. I didn't even know that wasn't a thing.
You're lucky they don't do drug tests for actors. God.
Well, I don't
Seth
think
Rogen wouldn't get a
most-
film.
Yeah, neither would Matthew McConaughey. Speaking of him.
Or Johnny Depp, for that matter.
It depends on what drugs they're screening. But yeah, that's a weird thing. But ultimately, I think, the problem is, one, on the studio level, they need to fix this. And two, come on, Shane Black. If you knew, you should have probably mentioned it to the studio, if not the cast and crew. I mean, ideally, all of the above.
So I read up on the article, and I read what scene he was actually in and what
Okay.
his role was. He played a jogger
I thought
who
it was a
would...
Predator.
Well... He played a jogger who would harass Olivia Munn on her
God.
looks, and then she would beat him up because, quote unquote, she's more than just looks,
Oh boy, alright.
and dismisses his advances.
I mean, I guess it's good that she gets to beat him up, but it kind of sucks that that's in there at all.
Yeah.
But,
So that's the whole bit is now cut.
Yeah, probably for good reason. Probably should have been in the first place, but
Yeah. Well, it's one less Olivia Munn scene, but,
yeah, but
she brought it to her to the attention, so she's fine with it not being in
yeah,
there.
I'm sure that's exactly what she needed. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with Predator. It's theaters. This guy will not be in the movie, so we'll see what happens in the future with Shane Black and his friend. See if they stay friends.
See if they say his friends. See if Shane Black keeps getting work.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Moving on.
Next story is about toys. Do you like toys?
Yes, I like adult toys,
Whoa.
like cars and boats.
Oh, okay. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, those
What
adult
about
toys.
toy cars? Like Mattel's Hot Wheels.
Mattel. I love Hot Wheels.
Yes, Mattel's Hot Wheels is one of the possible franchises that will be in a part of Mattel launching its own film division. Sound familiar?
Yes, is it Hasbro will
Yes,
have one?
Mattel is pulling a Hasbro here. So Sony has had made options on both Barbie and Masters of the Universe, but those options have expired. And both properties join Hot Wheels, Monster High, and Max Steel as potential franchises for a Mattel studio.
We don't like to talk about that last one.
Oh yeah, because that Max Steel movie came and went. Nobody.
Yeah,
nobody
it made like maybe 20 million,
Nobody cared.
and that's it.
But yeah, so Mattel Films will be led by Robbie Brenner, who was the former president of production at Relativity Media. So this could be interesting. I could see a big budget Hot Wheels movie working actually in a Fast and Furious world.
I'll say a Fast Furious or Need for Speed world.
I could totally see that being a movie.
Yes, I know for a while that Sony wanted to do a Masters of the Universe,
Yeah. I could
or
see that
just a Gray Skull,
too. Yeah.
like standalone film.
The odd one out here, of course, is Barbie. How do you make a Barbie movie work when Barbie is literally a character who has done literally everything? Like, how do you narrow down a Barbie movie? Like, who is Barbie if Barbie is so many things? You know,
I actually like that as the concept. Just
Barbie has an identity crisis.
yeah, it's an identity crisis.
Barbie goes to too many jobs and doesn't know what she wants to do with her life.
Yes.
I could now if they did it, if they got
Or you do like a life. Was it like what's the Disney Channel one? Like the Bring Me to Life.
what?
Like Life is Strange.
Not Life is Strange. That's something else.
Plastic Life. Life is Plastic.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where the doll becomes an actual person.
Oh, jeez, you're testing my memory. Yeah,
I know I
remember
am
that.
here.
I don't remember that at
Because
all.
it starred Tyra Banks.
Oh, right. Oh, I totally forgot about that. What is that called?
Yeah, that movie. Just do that, and then she like bring her to real life, and then
Yeah, maybe. But then that shades of Enchanted.
yes,
At
it
that
is.
point, I could see that working. So there's that's two options, right? You do the like, let's talk about the toy in a toy world thing, like Lego, a la Lego Movie.
Right. Which speaking of Lego Movie,
Do a comedic
they somehow
take.
got that to work.
Right. So yeah, do a comedic take. That would
Yes.
be one way to work it. As like the toy who is having an identity crisis,
Mhm.
or yeah, you're right, like an Enchanted style where Barbie comes to the real world and has to adapt.
Right.
The problem is that I feel like there's a lot more landmines in that second script
Oh yeah.
about the stereotypical Barbie jokes
Mhm.
that I feel like you can't make that movie in 2018.
All right. Cast Barbie.
I mean, Anna Faris is easy,
Okay.
but is that too close to
But
the
House Bunny. That's what I thought.
That's the first thought I had was like Anna Faris.
Yes.
Boom.
I have Claire Foy
Okay.
in my mind,
All right.
and Michelle Monaghan.
Okay. Yeah. Margot Robbie.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah, Margot
All right.
Robbie.
We saw
All
it.
right, there's your top three right there.
All right, Mattel
Go get 'em.
Studios.
Go get them.
Go get it. All right, let's move on to our last story.
Ooh,
film
Cass
here.
Ken. Cass Ken is
Ken?
a Chris.
Ken.
A Chris. Pick one of the Hollywood Chris's for Ken.
Oh, that's tough, actually.
No, just pick a Hollywood Chris.
Nah, Ryan Gosling, Young Goose.
Young Goose?
Young Goose.
No.
Young
You gotta be
Goose?
more rugged.
I don't know.
Like Chris
Do you?
Pratt.
Nah, Chris Pratt. He's too muscular for that role.
Yeah.
Go Diablos. Anyways, all right, let's move on. Next story is about Superman.
Oh, yes. The other
Uh,
Chris in the world.
The other Chris. Well, no, this actually this has nothing to do with Chris.
I know. This is Henry
Chris's of
Cavill.
any kind.
This is Henry Cavill.
Yes, Henry Cavill reportedly will no longer reprise his role as Superman from now on in the DCEU.
So the death of Superman?
I guess he was in talks with a cameo role for the upcoming Shazam film, but they broke down as he could not commit to their filming schedule. This has happened before with Cavill shooting Mission Impossible Fallout and then also having to do reshoots for Justice League.
Yes, the infamous mustache.
Mustache issue. Warner Brothers has reportedly, said they are focusing on a Supergirl origin movie instead. As the stupids. Freudian slip. As the studio's top priority.
Yes. This is stupid because this is Supergirl not in relation to the CW Supergirl.
No, it's a separate.
This is separately new
Supergirl.
Supergirl that they wanted to do.
So yeah, the studio is considered casting. Get this, Media Boat favorite Michael B. Jordan for future
Hey!
installments down the road. I would be psyched for Michael B. Jordan Superman.
Yes, but then you get into the whole thing of a black Superman.
And what I was telling you off the podcast is that if he's a freaking alien, it does not matter. It does not matter what shape, form, color, whatever the hell. He's literally an alien.
I know he is an alien. He is
Be
not of
anything
Earth.
You want him
He is
to
a
be.
Superman.
Yes. And Michael B. Jordan is the most
Yes.
Superman.
But even in alternate realities, like of the comic books, there is no black
Yeah.
Superman.
And when has that ever stopped comic book adaptations before? Every single movie based on a comic book has taken some liberties that have not been taken in the books.
No, what I would like to do for Warner Brothers to do is the Red Sun comics, which is where
Right, Russian Superman.
Russian Superman.
I've
Yes,
heard of this,
yes.
yes.
He instead of Kal-El
Doesn't land
landing
in
in
the
Kansas,
US, yeah,
he
he
lands
lands
in
in
like Chernobyl or
Russia, right.
Russia or somewhere.
Chernobyl. No, he doesn't land in Chernobyl.
He's what causes Chernobyl.
Sure, that's it.
And so yeah, so having been played by a Russian.
Well, we'll see if that happens. All right, let's move on. That's it for movie news. So that brings us into television.
And that brings us into sports.
It's a big sports week, as of course the top story is. It was NFL kickoff week. The National Football League and all its trials and tribulations are now back on everybody's TV screens.
Yes.
How did you enjoy the first proper week of games?
Oh, I enjoyed the first proper week of
there
games.
were some really good games, actually.
Yes.
I was shocked how
We saw-
enjoyable
Yes.
the games were this week.
So, quick rundown of what I got out of it. 1, Andrew Luck back on the field, threw for 300 plus yards.
Yeah.
Which is amazing for his first time back in like over
I could
166
say,
games. 2, the Browns may actually be decent this year, as they, for the first time in like 25 games over like close to like 500 days or something, they did not have a loss. Granted, it was not a win, but it was not a loss. They ended up tying against the Steelers. So that's went to overtime and stayed tied in overtime. So that's good. And 3, my fantasy team is pretty good because I got the highest score. And I'm just throwing this in right now in case anyone from that league is listening. Hey.
Certainly am. The games were entertaining. Football's back.
Yep.
If you into that kind of thing.
Rogers got hurt.
Yeah, one of the interesting things I wanted to talk about, get your take on real quick, is that there was a rule change this season.
Oh, yes.
It's already shaken some things up, and you were talking about this on Monday night when you were watching one of the games.
Yes, I was.
So you want to briefly talk about what that is?
So this is the new rule about touchdown celebrations and how you can be as wide and as wild and as rampant as you want.
No, that's not that one.
No?
No.
Okay, you're talking about the sack rule.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like, that's not true at all, but okay.
No. Okay, so there's new rules implemented as they do every year. This year, it's to protect the quarterback, where it's technically roughing the passer or hitting or passer interference, roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Where you can't hit the quarterback low, you can't hit him too high in the head, and if you hit him, and you have to wrap him up and bring him down. And this has caused defensive ends quite a stir, as anytime they try and attack the quarterback, it could easily be called for pass interference.
Right. Which
or
means
for roughing the passer.
Which means it's riskier to get a
Right,
sack.
because it's an automatic first down.
Yeah.
And we saw quite a lot of that this past weekend, where stuff that normally would go on as just a hit was being called for roughing the passer. And it's... I don't like how strict they're being. But at the same time, it's meant to protect the quarterbacks, meant to protect the franchise players, and so that way they don't get injured, a la Aaron Rodgers this past weekend, who just signed for $187 million, and then 11 plays in, has to be taken out and literally into the tent and into the locker room because he got hit in his leg.
Yeah, the other thing about this is that it also makes, when you do get a sack, even more exciting.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a nice thing. Because, like, I don't know, my feeling about last season when I kind of dropped off of watching games, I was just like, I was kind of just sick of seeing just the quarterback constantly going down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, all right, we get it. Like, you guys don't have any protection in the pocket. We get it. Like,
well, that's part of the classic motto, get good.
Sure. Yes. Get good.
Yeah, the line needs to get good in order to protect their quarterback.
Armchair quarterback says to the NFL,
So,
get good.
hey, line, get good.
Play football better.
Yeah.
He says.
Yeah. You
right.
need to stop the $150 million defensive end trying to pass rush you.
All right. Well, there's a lot to talk about, so let's move on.
Oh, yeah. Let's move on.
Serena Williams lost the Grand Slam and got fined.
Oh, yeah, she
after
did.
outburst the referee for getting coaching advice during the match. And to everyone I say, leave Serena alone. Come on. She's been through some crap.
Yes. But
do not
this is
blame
also
her for having an eruption as she did.
But this is also double standards, as in males tennis, you can do this.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can get coaching advice.
Dudes do this all the frickin' time.
But not in, this coaching is not allowed in female tennis.
That's such a weird thing.
It is.
Also, about the kind of like the pulling like a big upset, like a big outrage like that. Dudes do that literally all the time too.
Johnny McEnroe was
he made
famous.
His career on that.
Yeah.
Like, just doing that every game. He was angry. He was the bad boy of tennis.
Right.
It's like, how come that was like, oh, yeah, he's hardcore, and Serena does this once, and then everybody's like,
oh, you're
she
yelling at the ref.
overreacted.
Like,
It's
no.
like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
No, she didn't break her racket.
No.
No, she
but
just yelled at the ref.
It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Now,
no big deal.
now, granted, the coach did come out and say what he was doing technically was illegal.
Technically, sure.
Technically, he should not have been helping, giving advice.
But again,
maybe
the rule is what's wrong.
It is the rule that is wrong,
Yeah.
as it is a double standard in male-female tennis.
Yeah, it's dumb. All right. Then also in sports, the WNBA finals happened. Seattle
yes.
are happening, I guess.
Yes.
Seattle Storm are up 3 games against the Washington Mystics.
Yes. Game 4 is this Saturday, but it looks like Seattle Sonics? No. Storm.
Yeah.
The Seattle Storm
It's right here.
are going to win this. They're going to sweep, it looks like.
It's the comeback
Congratulations.
Seattle Supersonics to play against the WNBA final.
They should have just named them the Supersonics.
No, it's just after they retired that name
Just-
and
I
the
know.
NBA just like here's the Sonics again.
I know. But
That's it for sports.
that's,
Do you have anything else you need to add to sports before we move on to television?
No, but preseason hockey is starting soon.
Okay,
That's it.
we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, which means pre-sale hockey is out there now, so get your tickets.
Moving into television news, the
All right.
biggest story on TV, of course, this week was the exit of Mr. Moonvest himself. We called this.
The Moonvest.
Leslie Moonves, the CBS CEO, is leaving the company after 6 weeks of allegations of sexual misconduct were revealed, as we covered. The COO, Joseph Ianello, Ianello.
IEIO.
Yeah, there's another I in there. I'm like confused.
Yes.
Will be acting CEO and pledged that Moonves would not receive severance benefits at this time. Awesome. Moonves released a statement late Sunday evening saying that he was deeply saddened to be leaving CBS. Meanwhile, Moonves and CBS will donate $20 million to one or more organizations that support the Me Too movement and equality for women in the workplace. The donation has to be made immediately from any severance benefits following the board's ongoing independent investigation. So, yeah, the investigation's not over. That implies CBS is still having their own internal probe. But Moonves is choosing to do this on his own volition. Basically saying,
Yes.
like, nope, sorry, whatever's going to happen here, I'm not going to stick around to find out. I'm gone.
Right.
Which makes sense because he's freaking rich. And
He's freaking rich. He's freaking old. Yeah. Also, side note here, this happened today, but the executive producer for 60 Minutes, because talking about 60s CBS here, of 60 Minutes, also left. He said it wasn't because of Moonves, but that he said that it was just his time and that they just happened to correspond.
Just happened to be around the same time.
But this is also, but people are saying that he's one of the other unnamed people in the CBS hierarchy, according to the article from 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So, bye, Moonves. We'll hardly miss you.
Your name will be in legacy perpetuity.
You're good. That was a good joke in 30 Rock about Moonvest.
Moonvests.
Moonvest. All right, let's move on. Next story is a fun one. The Creative Arts Emmys happened.
Yes, actual award season.
Kind of.
Well, briefly.
These are the Emmys that happen when no one's watching. They're kind of more the technical, kind of internet, short form, kind of niche awards.
These aren't your big hitters. Those are for next week.
Correct. The Creative Arts Emmys had winners including Black Mirror. The episode USS Callister won Outstanding TV Movie.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Kenan Thompson of SNL won for in some category for the
digital short form.
Comeback Barack skit that he did with Chance the Rapper last season.
Comeback Barack.
Which is really good. I like that one. Anthony Bourdain for Parts Unknown. I guess got a posthumous Emmy in this case.
Got 2 posthumous Emmys for that show.
Oh, that's good. Rick and Morty won Outstanding Animated Program. Queer Eye on Netflix won for Outstanding Reality Program. Good for them.
Yeah.
Shauna Duggins won Outstanding Stunt Coordination for Glow and is the first woman to win that category.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, also good for Glow.
Yeah, Glow got an Emmy, and maybe we'll get more.
Yeah.
Raymond Djawadi won for Outstanding Music Composition for Game of Thrones.
Do note that this is the 7th season, and that is his first win
Wow.
for Game of Thrones.
And then here's a couple of important milestones here for you. John Legend won Creative Arts Emmy for, I believe, production work that he did for Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes, the Legend John.
Which gets him an EGOT. He is now the youngest EGOT. In case you don't know, that is a winner of an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Yep.
So he has all four and is now the youngest winner of all.
Yes, he won the Oscar 2 years ago for Glory.
Yes.
For the Selma,
Right.
off the Selma soundtrack.
Yes, Selma soundtrack.
I think that's called Glory.
Because I think the first one of these was his Tony.
Yes.
Tony first.
Yeah,
he has obviously a Grammy for his music, and
Right.
now he has an Emmy. So there you go. EGOT. But he wasn't the only EGOT this ceremony. Also, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yes, because of Jesus Christ
Because
Superstar.
because of Jesus Christ Superstar,
Yes,
he
he was-
gets an Emmy, which means he also is an EGOT, but he's very, very much not the youngest.
Right. But he finally got it.
He did it.
I mean, it's not like he was actually trying to work for it at any point in his life, but...
Oh, I mean, I don't hate the man.
No, I don't hate the
His
man.
musicals aren't my favorite. But, all right, but the important Emmys, that's the primetime Emmys, the Emmys proper, those will be next week. So we will have all your Emmy news fresh from the Emmys.
Yeah, next
time.
Which means set your DVRs for this upcoming Monday.
Yeah, it's weird that they're on Monday.
Yeah,
What the
they're
hell?
not Sunday.
Why are they on Monday?
Because
it's
football.
Like the MTV Movie Awards or something.
Football's on Sunday.
Yeah, I guess.
Then I want to compete.
That's super weird. Anyway, so I believe they are on NBC this year?
Yes, because of Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Michael Che are
And,
hosts.
yep.
So that'll be next week. We'll see. All right, moving on to our next story. Someone who probably won't be up for an Emmy this year, but maybe next year. Sacha Baron Cohen.
For this...
for
What
his
is America?
Show Who is America?
Who is America?
He's being
Why is America?
You knew this was going to happen at some point. He is being sued
Ah.
by one of the people who he interviewed.
Which one was it? Was it a senator?
No, it was Roy Moore.
Oh, that Roy Moore.
That Roy Moore for $95 million in damages.
Ooh.
Moore said he would have never agreed to appear if he had known the true reason for the trip, as he was lured under the premise that he was receiving an award for his support of Israel. Roy Moore's lawyers, yeah, I know, right? Sacha Baron Cohen really convinced him that.
Yeah.
Moore's lawyers sent a threat letter in an effort to get Showtime to not air the footage, as Cohen demonstrated a fictional device meant to detect pedophiles during the interview. As a public figure, Moore will have to prove Cohen acted with malice and either knew the statements concerning him were false or acted with a reckless disregard for their falsity. This is tricky because part of this is that if it's satire, that there's no way a court can call against this.
Right. And the thing is that Sacha Baron Cohen does not need to prove that Roy Moore is a sexual offender? Predator?
Something like that,
Yeah, yes.
We have news
Roy,
from the front, real quick.
what, news from the front?
Yeah, we have news from the front. According to my inside source, the people reporting on John Legend being the
youngest
youngest
EGOT winner?
apparently is not true. Previous EGOT Robert Lopez is technically the youngest at the time of his win.
He's the 36.
Yeah, so I don't know, guys. Write better headlines, I suppose.
Yeah.
Fact check your headlines. But anyways,
Yeah, I thought that was the case, but I just...
yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, John Legend's older than that guy.
He's 40-ish?
Yeah, John Legend's got to be 40.
I don't want to say... Hey, Google!
How old is John Legend?
You want to turn on Google?
It's not.
Nah.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
You can tell us at home here.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yes. So, yes, Roy Moore must prove that he
Yeah.
is indeed a sexual...
Whoa.
what is
Wait
it?
a minute.
A child molester?
A
pedophile.
pedophile?
Yes.
He has to claim that? Is that what this
Yes,
story's about?
yes. Roy Moore must claim that he is indeed a pedophile for it to be considered not satire.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. It's probably going to get thrown out because these things always do.
Oh yeah,
All right,
those two.
let's move on to our final story.
Speaking of things getting
television.
thrown out,
Yeah, this is not great.
no.
So we've been following the case of the allegation of sexual assault from
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews on his former
Manager,
manager
agent.
Adam Bennett, who the lawyer who groped him at a Hollywood party. Bennett's agency, William Morris Endeavor, confirmed the deal, saying the lawsuit would be dismissed. Unfortunately.
So the two camps have reached a deal, and it is being settled out of court.
Yeah. Representatives for Crews did not respond to requests for comments. Kevin Spacey also will not be prosecuted over sexual assault claims because the statute of limitations is passed for the assault that occurred back in October 1992, which was the one in question.
Right. That's the one.
It's our old friend, statute of limitations, rearing its head again.
Yep.
Los Angeles prosecutors said that they could not take the case forward, but they are reviewing a second case of allegations against him in October 2016. Prosecutors also declined to prosecute alleged sex crimes against Steven Seagal because of statute of limitations, and Anthony Anderson because the accuser in that case declined to be interviewed. Also, Nick Lachey.
Yes.
That was the other one that got dismissed by the courts this week.
Right.
Yeah, wow, just like one after another, just getting tossed away in the trash, and does not look good.
No.
Like, I thought we were making some headway.
I thought the Terry Crews thing would for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Not,
I mean,
not settle. Like,
not that. I feel weird though at the same time saying like we favor one or the other. I think all these cases should be looked at with the same eye. But yeah, it just sucks. I mean, I thought we had momentum going into this year where this wasn't going to happen anymore. With stuff like statute of limitations laws being reconsidered on a state-to-state basis. But I guess we're not quite there yet. So,
I think those are up for...
it was California, I think, right? Or...
No, I want to say that they were put on the ballot.
Oh,
and this is before... Because the elections haven't happened yet.
Right. So maybe when we get closer to November, maybe some things will happen there.
Right.
But yeah, this sucks. This is just a lot of people getting free passes, unfortunately.
Well, not technically free passes because we put light on them. But yeah, there's
yes,
no...
You know what I mean.
Yes. There's no actual prosecution being done about it.
All right, well, that does it for television news. Did you watch any TV of note this week besides sports?
I mean, sports filled my entire
We
weekend.
already talked about sports stuff, so did you watch any other television?
No, but I do want to mention Manifest.
What is Manifest?
This is the new NBC show. They did on YouTube. You can find a first act preview, and at first, like when the show came out, I was all for it. I was on board. Like a play that disappears and 5 years later reappears. No one knows what happened.
You mean it manifests?
Yeah, it manifests.
Okay.
Also, the manifest.
Also, manifest.
Yeah. See,
it's a great triple meaning.
Yeah, it's layered. It sounds good. So I watched that pilot
All
or
right.
the first act of it online.
How was it? No.
It turned me off of it.
Yeah.
One thing that you don't do in screenwriting is do inner monologue and voiceovers. Show, don't tell. Especially when you show and then tell, or tell and then show.
Yeah.
In the exact same minute.
That sounds awful.
Yes, it looked awful. It took place in the airport, and she was telling about her family, like, and they had issues. And you show them fighting. It's like you can get that from the showing, not the telling.
I mean, yeah, you know it's bad because this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yes, TV spot is all that matters.
I
guess, but yeah, it's. I was all hyped for it. I was gonna watch it. This is gonna be my new thing to watch, and then that happened, and it was like, why? You don't need voiceovers. You don't need inner monologues. Just no.
Ugh, yeah.
So I'll still give the whole episode a watch, but if it's gonna be the main character monologuing through the entire thing,
It's like all pass.
yeah, because one thing you don't do, and this is like screenwriting 101.
Yeah, it's not completely against the rules. Like, if you do it well, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
The thing is you're told not to do it, especially if you're new, because it's a crutch.
Well,
Because a writer will start doing that and just tell everything as opposed to using visual language.
Right.
And then that's a bad script. script. So what you're saying here is that it's a bad use of voiceover.
Yeah.
Not that voiceover shouldn't be used.
No, like voiceover can be good
Yeah.
because Scrubs does it really well.
Yeah, I mean, a good example. Yeah, Scrubs. Good example is Arrested Development.
Arrested Development
because it's kind of like a narrator fighting against the visual, which
Right.
is a good kind of dynamic. It's like they can be done in
Right.
this format.
But you also know that both of those are comedies and not dramas.
That's the key. Also, yes, you can get a lot away with a lot more with a narrator in a comedy than you can in a drama.
Right.
So that helps, I'm sure.
I'm trying to think if there's any drama with like an inner monologue.
I'm trying to think.
I
I don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of monologue.
want to say no.
Element. No. Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl did it.
Gossip Girl has.
Yeah.
I know some people who are experts about that show.
Yes.
Who maybe want to chime in.
Would
Here.
we like to bring him on?
All of the above. I know several apparently then. But yeah. Yeah. Anyways, any television besides that? Anyone watching here?
Besides that, no, still watching just sports, baseball. I did catch up with My Hero Academia. I am currently caught up watching
My
the
anime
sub.
corner.
My anime corner.
Yeah, you get your sports corner at the beginning, and you get your anime corner at the bottom.
Yeah. So I'm fully caught up with that. The dub is not available yet because I haven't made it, but the sub, I've caught up with the sub. So
Okay.
I am liking where that thing's going.
Yeah.
I am fully invested in that. That thing can go for 10 seasons. I'll watch every single episode
Okay.
as long as for what I care.
All I really watched this week was I watched more of that Pokemon stream. On Sunday, I watched Pokemon Movie 2000 for the first time in like a few years, and it's not good. Like
No?
I can at least admit that now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not good. Like I shouldn't have to tell you that a Pokemon movie is bad.
Well, it's not like
But it was kind of cool to see it in its native aspect ratio for the first time since I saw it in theaters when I was 10.
right.
Because all I had was the VHS copy of that thing, and they never released a widescreen DVD until like 2 years ago. So yeah, I was like, it was weird to see it in widescreen. I was like, wow, nothing is pan scanned. This is weird.
Yeah.
And the quality was so much better. I was like, man, the animation of this is actually held up because they put theatrical money in it.
Yeah.
You can't get that out of the VHS copy. So it was a weird moment where I was like, I'm actually liking a lot of what they did here animation-wise. But holy crap, this is still boring, and it's just screaming birds for 30 minutes. And it's like, oh, this is so obnoxious now. Now I know my parents probably thought when they had to take me to that thing. They were probably just sitting in that theater just being like, oh, well, these birds, shut up. And I'm just like 10 years old, just completely raptured.
Wrapped into it.
Yeah, and so like, oh, it's Lugia. I'm like, damn, Haka Lugia, it's something. But yeah, I don't know. That stream is still going. If you still want
Yes,
to watch
there's still Pokemon streaming.
They're in Johto, and if I remember correctly, they're going to be in Johto for like 3 years because that thing's never ends.
Yeah, I was actually gonna put it on, but yeah.
But I mean,
Sports.
I want to check in and maybe see where they're
Yeah.
at, but the Johto seasons are so boring.
Yeah. Well, we watched the Indigo Plateau finals,
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
or
Like,
at
to
least
see
up
those
to the
again.
16. Yeah.
It was cool to see those again for
Yeah.
sure. Norwich Islands were fun too. But yeah, that's still going. So catch that stream. That's all I watched. I don't think I watched anything else this week.
Trying to
It's
think.
kind of a holding pattern until stuff starts premiering next week.
Yeah.
Towards the end of next week is when you have your big premieres.
Right. End of September is Sweeps,
Yes.
and that's when all the new stuff
Season
premieres.
The Good Place, Bob's Burgers,
911.
yeah, all your
Everything.
NBC dramas
NBC
are coming
dramas.
back. Your
NBC
Fox dramas are
stuff.
coming back.
Yes. As soon as MasterChef is done in like 2 weeks here,
Yeah.
that's when everything's gonna come back. And
New
so
episodes
I'm
of
following
Jeopardy
that.
started yesterday.
Oh, that was yesterday.
Yes.
Yes.
The 11th. So yes, we have Jeopardy to catch up on finally. So yeah, there we go.
All
TV
right.
will happen, but not
yes.
quite yet.
So we'll have the Emmys on Monday, and then slowly TV will start to come back to us.
Well,
The Good Doctors.
now let's talk about.
Amsterdam.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's talk about TV shows that will not be returning, or actually in this case will be, because we have no cancellations, but we do have renewals.
All right, cancellations and renewals.
First up in the renewals is Ballers. Gets a 5th season
Ballers.
over at HBO. You're happy.
Yes. Yes and no, because I don't know where they're going with this, and I don't know how much longer
Rock
they
loses
can.
his job again and he has to get it back.
Yeah.
That's every season of Ballers. I don't know.
Well, that's everything. I know.
It's every season of Ballers. Insecure also on HBO gets a 5th season. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which we knew NBC had picked up for a 6th season, as its
episode count pushed up.
They've now gone and bought 5 more episodes to extend the season to an 18-episode season. That's exciting. 18 episodes.
Still no release date for any of that, but
yeah.
So that to be a spring release, it looks like.
Yep. All right, let's move into deaths then. We've got 3 major deaths this week.
Because they all come in threes, right?
They always come in threes.
Okay, first major death.
First major death, Mac Miller, rapper, producer, age 26.
Oh, that is young.
Found him dead in his house. Looks like it was an overdose. They haven't done the autopsy. We'll find out specifics, but they don't really matter because, Mac Miller, like him or not, he was sort of influential in the rap scene. He kind of intertwined with a lot of careers of other famous rappers and even famous singers, as everybody has been talking about his relationship with Ariana Grande.
And that's all they can be associating him with.
Yeah, and that's kind of brought a weird color to the story, as a lot of people on the internet especially are very quick to try to frame this as an Ariana Grande related issue, that experience of their breakup led to him doing stuff like this. But it sounds like the bigger picture suggests that he was kind of in this place for a while.
Yeah, Ariana Grande went on social media and said that she was with him as she put him into rehab 2 or 3 times, and yet he came out exactly the same and nothing changed.
Yeah, it's important to note that, well, one,
addiction's real.
Yeah, it's
bad.
This stuff is not something that's caused or solved by a single person ever. That is not how this works. This is something that somebody falls into and gets way deep in and then has to crawl out of slowly. It's not something that somebody, I broke up with you, so you're going to spiral.
Just spiral, yeah.
It's not necessarily how it works. You have to already be kind of in the pit for that to be something that happens. But also, a note here is that it's a tough conversation to have because, I don't know, it's hard to talk about because I feel like we've talked about this other stuff.
So just celebrity suicides and everything.
Well, yeah, and
then there's the suicide
stuff,
prevention.
but more specifically, where I was going with this is that we also talked about recently Demi Lovato's struggle.
Oh yes,
and how she was recently
re-released.
It was an overdose of opioids
yes.
that had happened with her, and so that conversation also was fairly recently. And it's tough when you're down. You can't really. It's very, very hard to stay up, and that sounds like that was what was happening with Mac Miller before his untimely end. So, say what you will about his music, but it did seem like the people that were involved with him and around him did appreciate him, and he had a lot of influences in kind of crazy corners of the music industry, if anything has been proven this week. Well, a lot of other artists coming out of the woodwork to basically thank and honor him after his death. So, yeah, a rough one for sure in a lot of ways. But depending on your circles, though, not as rough as this next one. Actor Burt Reynolds, age 82, has passed away. I mean, 82, a little more reasonable. He was a little getting up there in age.
Yeah, he's also been around for quite a while.
But yeah, an icon for decades. A lot of people know him by his mustache, for sure. Yes. And that nude picture of him that everybody's seen somehow.
And and Smokey and the Bandits.
Yeah, just classic movies. 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton.
The Longest Yard, both of them.
Yeah. One of my favorites that I always love bringing up, his cameo in Saints Row the Third.
Yes.
Which is amazing because you don't see it coming.
No, as the mayor.
And your character's reaction is even like, holy shit, it's Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
It's so great. So yeah, he touched a lot of different kinds of roles. He was in all sorts of different corners of his career. Apparently he had a hit song, a hit single at some point, which was going around the internet this week. It's just, what a life, man.
Yeah, he gave us Ryan Reynolds.
No,
he didn't.
Unrelated.
No.
But yeah, definitely will be missed. That will be, your
In memoriam.
memoriam on the Emmys next week for sure.
Yeah.
They'll be capping that one off. So yeah, that's a big loss. And then lastly, Bill Daly, age 91, who was Major Healy on I Dream of Jeannie.
Major
A
Healy.
sitcom character actor. I'm sure he was probably in other stuff as well.
Yes. Major Healy was the main, right?
Yes. I think
Yeah.
The Major. Yeah.
Yeah, the Major.
The dude. All right. That does it for deaths. So let's move into music.
All right. We start off with the Billboard.
We
and
do.
so this is not. Oh, this should be Kamikaze then, right?
Guess what? It's Kamikaze Week, but we'll get there in a second because first we have to talk about the Billboard 100, which is your singles.
All right. So what's everyone singling into?
Well, guess what? Nothing's changed
Nothing.
except for one little tiny move that I'll get to. Number 1 is Still In My Feelings by Drake. Number 2 is Still Girls Like You by Maroon 5. Number 3 is Still I Like It by Cardi B. Number 4 is Now Fifi by 6ix9ine. And number 5 is Better Now by Post Malone. They have swapped.
They swapped.
That's all that's happened in the 100, but the 200 is a little bit more interesting.
All right,
As
Kamikaze.
you mentioned, Eminem's Kamikaze is your number 1 record this week.
This is of note because this is his 9th album to hit number 1, which means he now has the number 1 spot of that. He was tied for a while there with the Beatles and Elvis.
But yeah, I guess.
But now he has more number 1 albums, number 1 debuting albums than any other artist.
But yeah, that beats number 2, Astro World by Travis Scott. Number 3, Scorpion by Drake. Number 4, actually debuting in the top 5 this week, Bloom by Troye Sivan. And then lastly in the top 5, Sweetener by Ariana Grande hangs on number 5.
Oh, there's that little sweetener.
That's Sweetener. So, those
It's
are your
the
Billboard
sweetener.
charts. Coming up next week, or this coming Friday, I should say, we have a bunch of new releases.
A little something for everybody.
A little something for everybody is what we usually say. In this case, it's very true. Alejandro Escovedo with The Crossing. Ann Wilson with Immortal. Aphex Twin with Collapse. Asleep at the Wheel with New Roots. Bob Moses with Battle Lines. Carrie Underwood with her new record Cry Pretty.
Finally, that thing comes out.
Dilly Dally with Heaven.
Dilly Dilly.
Good Charlotte.
Yes, That Good Charlotte.
That Good Charlotte with Generation RX. Gorilla Toss.
I have a thing about Good Charlotte.
Okay.
So, I was listening to Blink-182. I put it on YouTube and let it play all of just randomly going through stuff. Then it gets to
Good Charlotte.
About like 10 songs into it. It puts on Good Charlotte as a ad. Not like, hey, here's an ad you can skip after 10 seconds, or here's the first like 10 seconds of it. No, it was the full song played as an ad for the new song.
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know Spotify was doing that.
That wasn't Spotify.
Oh, sorry.
That was YouTube.
That's
weird. That was weirder.
Stupid. Alright, well, they have a new record. So
yes, they tried to get me to listen to it.
Gorilla Toss, but you use the wrong gorilla. They're like the gorilla, like Guerrilla Warfare.
Oh, I think that's what I have.
No, you have the oh yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah, GUI.
Gorilla Toss with Twisted Crystal. Hawkwind with Road to Utopia. I don't know, Hawkwind was still making music. Jungle with Forever. It's 2 words. Monster Truck with True Rockers. No Name with Room 25. Paul Weller with True Meanings. Richard Thompson with 13 Rivers. The Chills with Snowbound. Thrice with Palms. Tori Kelly. They're still trying to make Tori Kelly happen with Hiding Place.
Yes, Tori Kelly was all over Sunday Night
Football.
Yeah, Monday Night Football.
We Were Promised Jetpacks with The More I Sleep, The Less I Dream. It's good. And Willie Nelson with My Way. I really hope there's a Frank Sinatra cover in there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Really hilarious.
But yeah, Willie Nelson with a new album, 83, I think he's
definitely getting up there.
Yeah.
Because that weed keeps him young. It's well preserved in there. He's smoked. Well preserved. All right. That is it for new releases. Okay. Let's move into music news.
All right, and we start off with a bit of a rocker.
So yeah, let's talk about Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
All right.
Some classic 70s jams right there.
So you can finally listen to her.
The complete catalog is now available for streaming for the first time. Following a deal between Blackheart Records and Sony Music Entertainment and Legacy Recordings. The new deal covers the worldwide rights to Joan Jett's recorded music catalog, including singles, albums, music videos, concert films, and more in digital and physical formats. Legacy Recordings will also release the soundtrack to the upcoming Bad Reputation, which is a Joan Jett documentary that will soon come to theaters. Other recordings include Evil Stig, Cherry Curie, FEA, Jackknife Stiletto, Girl in a Coma, The Dollyrots, The Vacancies, The Cute Lepers, and The Eyeliners, which are all amazing band names. I love every single one of those.
Yes, they were all signed to Blackheart labels.
Label,
Records, yes. Record label.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool, that's exciting.
Yeah. Did you notice that Joan Jett was not on?
I guess I never considered it. I guess I never looked her up.
Yeah.
I was never like, I'm in a Joan Jett mood. I'm going to see if Bad Reputation's on Spotify.
I want to say maybe
It
just
may have been through like soundtracks.
Yeah, I want to say just that song through soundtracks was
Yeah,
available,
maybe.
but not Joan Jett as an artist.
Well, now you get all of music. Right?
Yes, Willie is 85, by the way.
He's 85. Thank you for fact checks on the
Fact checking.
audience.
Fact
Our
checking
audience
Willie.
is doing work, man.
Fact checking Willie.
We're so lucky. We got some great fact checkers.
I do have
watching
a
us.
great fact checker.
Oh, that's cute. All right, let's move on. Our next story is about the EU.
So
EU.
this is the big story that happened today that everyone has been talking about.
Today, the European Parliament will vote on a proposal to force.
Well, not will vote, but have voted.
Well, I'm just reading what's on here.
I know you are.
On a proposal to force all online services to implement Content ID style censorship for everything from audio to texts and still images.
So
real quick, if you don't know what Content ID is, one, you're probably not a YouTuber,
Yes.
and two, you're probably the vast majority of people because it's a really specific thing.
Right.
But give our audience a basic breakdown of what Content ID is.
It's copyright material. In layman's terms, it is digital. It is copyright for the internet.
Well,
that's as basic as you can
More
get.
specifically, it is a technology that YouTube implements so that way copyright holders can basically track when their copyrighted music or images or like stuff like that is being used in a video that they did not approve.
Yes.
So, for example, I'm like an intern over at Warner Brothers, right? I'm a Warner Brothers intern. My job is basically whenever I log into our YouTube account, my job is to say, oh, did something get flagged today? And I'll click on it, and it'll be like, oh, Joe1234, who has 3 videos on YouTube, he posted something with
he made an AMV with
with a song that's by Good Charlotte. And
Right.
it got flagged because Warner Brothers, I actually don't know what label Good Charlotte's under, but
Right.
let's just assume for
Assume.
this fictional scenario
Yes.
that it is Warner Brothers. They'll be like, oh, well, Warner Brothers owns this Good Charlotte song. Well, we're going to make sure that this gets taken down.
Right.
And so that's when you get the little thing on YouTube where it says, due to copyright, blah, 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 the audio of this video has been muted.
right, or you've been demonetized or something.
Or the video just gets taken off and you get the fuzzy, the YouTube noise.
Right.
Where it's just,
this is no longer
this has been taken down by Warner Brothers records or
Right.
something like that. So
Well-
that's basically Content ID.
That's the simple form of what
Yeah.
YouTube does as Content ID.
Right.
What this Article 13
Yes.
EU law does is take that simple concept of music
Democratize it.
and apply it to movies, TV, video games, literally anything media that a company owns.
So yeah, under Article 13, anyone who allows users to communicate in public must be sent to a copyright enforcement. This is weirdly written. Basically, they need to adhere to a copyright enforcement algorithm that will compare it to all the known copyrighted works and censor it if it seems to be a match. So yes, Content ID writ large.
So those of you who went to university or school,
One of the two.
yes, one of those two. For international audiences who go to university.
Not a college.
Yes, or colleges.
Only universities.
Turn It In is actually a really great example of this.
Yes, it is.
Where as a teacher forced you to use Turn It In, you had to go to the website,
Turnitin.com.
turnitin.com, submit your written thesis or paperwork.
And they just run it against everything posted on the internet and see if there's plagiarism.
Yes. See if there's enough plagiarism for it to count as well, plagiarism.
This is like that. So you basically put up a
Yes.
video. Well, it's going to be run through this filter, and we're going to tell you if your video is like any other videos out there.
Now, this may seem kind of tedious, but this applies to GIFs.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
any, like, written text, if you're quoting anything, or even if you're a blogger or or secondhand news source, third-hand news source,
Yeah.
this will apply to all of that.
So an early example of how this could get out of hand, like just beyond the YouTube stuff that we already talked about,
Right, of just stuff that we know of.
is a little story about a German music professor who uploaded public domain recordings of famous composers who have been dead for over 300 years. Well, even this guy was met with copyright notices claiming violation by posting these ancient songs.
Yes.
So yeah, if he's getting censored, then
Yeah,
that's really scary.
We're talking like Panucci
Yeah, or Bach.
or Bach.
Like you put up this
Yes.
Bach song.
Yes, but because
takedown.
like Warner Brothers or Universal or BMG,
Yeah.
because they own like or Sony, I think it was specifically Sony that owned like a 16-second clip of that Bach composition, that the whole thing got copyright notice,
Yeah,
and that's how strict this thing can be,
that's rough.
and that's
So yeah, that's a scary future we live in. So we'll see what happens with that as it progresses.
Well, it has progressed because the vote was today. It passed.
Yeah.
The next vote is for it to be implemented in January, where it can still be stricken down, but most likely if it gets that far, it won't be.
Probably won't be.
Which then leaves it up to each country to implement it, and that will be law.
Scary.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Our next story is about the Beatles have been in the news this week for a couple reasons. First, this John Lennon stamp story. Then also Paul McCartney did an interview where he revealed some things that I did need to know about his time in the Beatles.
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna splurt that out.
We'll get to that later because there's a really good Twitter joke that I want to mention.
Okay.
But yeah, the first story, John Lennon has been honored with a U.S. postage stamp and the ceremony that happened on Friday for the unveiling. Yoko Ono and Sean Lennon, his son, were both in attendance. In 2016, Lennon's personal collection of stamps was displayed at the World Stamp Show in New York City following a residency at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum. The Forever stamp in question here is designed to look like a 45-inch vinyl single as a record peeking out of a sleeve, which you can only order through the USPS directly. So there you go, John Lennon on a stamp. But then yes,
But then
what's
Paul
your joke
McCartney.
about the Paul McCartney interview?
That wasn't my joke. I was gonna say talk about how John McCartney,
John McCartney
and Paul Lennon,
Okay.
Paul McCartney and John Lennon would have some fun together.
They were close.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. And I guess one of the things that they did when they were close is,
Tandem
well, you know, they did say, come together.
over me right now.
Right now.
They came together all right.
Come together.
Locking eyes or something. I don't know.
Now that song again is a completely different meaning. Come together. All right. I just wanted to get that in there. All right, let's move on.
Are you yanking me on that joke?
No.
No?
No, not.
No? You're not trying to pull one
I'm not
off?
pulling you anywhere. All right.
Unlike Sir Paul McCartney.
Next up, the American Music Awards.
Hey!
They're happening. We have nominations, in fact.
Yes, we do. It was such a slow news week that we could do nominations.
Yep. Well, American Music Awards, in case you don't know, are like the low-budget ABC Grammys that were created by, what's his name?
Billboard?
No.
Oh. Nielsen.
No.
Leslie Moonves.
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark.
Created them in the
American
like,
Bandstand
I think
age.
in the late 60s, early 70s as kind of a competitor to the Grammys
Right.
that ABC could own. So yeah, they don't really mean much, but in case you do care, the nominations have been revealed. Cardi B and Drake are the leaders here, with potentially they could potentially win 8 awards each. Artist of the Year nominees include Drake, Imagine Dragons, Post Malone, Ed Sheeran, and Taylor Swift. New
One of these
artist
things is not like the other.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I feel like this is Drake's category. Like, it'd be weird if you lost here. I can't see any of these people winning. Maybe Taylor? I don't know.
Well, she has a reputation now.
Yeah, she sure does. New Artist of the Year nominees include Cardi B, Camila Cabello, Khalid, Dua Lipa, and rapper XXXTentacion, which would be a posthumous award if you won.
Yes.
Ed Sheeran and Post Malone each earned 6 nominations for their works. Fans vote on these awards, by the way, and they can begin doing so on Wednesday in all categories except for the New Artist, so that's today.
Yes.
Social artists and collaboration categories. Voting in those categories will open September 24th. Tracy Ellis
2 weeks.
Ross will be your host, and it will be held at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles on October 9th.
So a couple months, or a month. A month away. So yeah, this is on by you, not some snobby
Me?
Grammy award
Okay.
that some old guy will vote on. No, but you, the
Yeah.
listener, can go on and vote online.
Yeah,
Make your voice heard. Go out and vote
if you care. Which I don't.
if you care.
I don't care that much. Alright, that does it for music news.
Okay.
Did we listen to anything?
I think you listened to the new Waxahachie album.
Yeah, I did. It's not.
I tried listening to that thing.
There's not much to talk about there. It's actually what that thing is actually a re-release of previous material, and now with a full band. I guess it's material.
Was there a band? Because I don't think I heard a drum in that thing.
Well, it's mostly acoustic and piano.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was material from a side project she did in 2012 called Great Thunder, which is why this EP is called Great Thunder. And so this is basically her re-recording these songs from her previous band under her current alias. Waxahachie is technically a full band when they tour, but really it's just her label for her solo work. And Katie Crutchfield. This is just re-release of material. So yeah, it's very reminiscent of stuff that she was releasing in 2012. So if you like the older Waxahachie material or older work from the Crutchfield sisters, check it out. It's worth checking out. Some good ballads on there, but definitely not the kind of rock that was on the last year's Into the Storm. One of my top 5 records last year, if you recall.
I do recall.
So yeah, other than that, I didn't listen to anything. So
Okay.
I don't got nothing to talk
I
about.
listened to the new single off the Carrie Underwood album, Cry Pretty.
Okay.
But I will save that for next week
Yeah,
when the
let's
actual
talk about
album
Cry
comes
Pretty
out.
next week, for sure.
Other than that, I did
That's
not.
it.
I tried to find new music actually.
Yeah,
It took me a struggle, but no, I couldn't find a new album to get into this
Some
week.
weeks are easier than others when it comes to that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on then. That's it for music, which means we're moving into video games.
All right, new releases.
New releases this week include Hockey Fans Rejoice NHL 19 is out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, though, is your big release this week on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna the Golden Country. That's DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming to Switch this week. And also coming to Switch, a vehicle kit for Nintendo Labo. So get your cardboard
Cardboard
hands
cars.
ready.
Cardboard car.
Getting cardboard cars up in here. So yeah, check those out. Moving into video game news. Our first story is a follow-up about the Belgian story about Belgian loot box banning.
Yes, so we've following this about how the Belgian courts have ruled loot boxes as gambling. They classify it as gambling, and you cannot have them in your game.
Well, we talked about, we covered this. We talked about, I wonder how EA is going to react to this when they have games that rely so much on the loot box mechanic, i.e. their sports titles. Well, now we found out. The government is going after EA because they are not complying with the recent ruling about loot boxes constituting gambling. EA is refusing to modify their loot boxes from FIFA 18 and FIFA 19. They are soccer games, and this is considered gambling according to this new rule. EA has received an official report stating that anyone who does not conform to our law is at risk of legal prosecution. In FIFA 19, in case you were wondering how the mechanic works, players will be able to buy virtual surprise packages with real money to earn superstars. They're kind of equivalent to the Madden Ultimate Team kind of system.
Yes.
A lot of these games have the same kind of Ultimate Team system, and this is that.
Right, this is EA's way of making you play their mini games and their challenges to win coins, to unlock the new packs, to improve your team by getting new superstars.
Right, yeah.
I went through that.
It It relies on a loot box mechanic.
Oh, yes. I
You
would
cannot
do
have
that.
that mode without a loot box mechanic.
Yes.
But yeah, elsewhere in the game industry, in case you're wondering how other companies reacted to the rule change.
How did other companies react to the rule change?
Both Blizzard and Valve, both companies notorious for boxes, have both complied with the new law and have removed loot boxes from their popular games in Belgium. Roughly 67% of EA's revenue, though, especially from their FIFA games, is from those boxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense why they would stick to their guns here, but it also sucks.
Right. The way Madden...
I interviewed for GA.
Right.
I was
Because...
distracted.
Yes. So because I played the Madden Madden is the EA. Because I played the Madden games, I've done the Ultimate Team. The way they get around that, quote, gambling, is by saying these packs will guarantee you a player between this range of...
Right.
And that's how they get away with it. But if you're doing just a random draw,
then
that doesn't
conform to
qualify.
the law,
Yes.
and yeah, that's when they're
Right.
Not
I'm not
cool.
sure if even doing it this way is conforming to the law either.
yeah.
So, do note that unlike articles that you read where EA is suing Belgium, no.
No,
Belgium
government
is suing EA.
Right, for not conforming. All right, let's move on to our next story, which is about Sony.
Yes, but it also brings back a picture that we've long forgotten. VR Lady's back!
VR Lady's back, because this is a VR story. So, CEO of Sony, Kenichiro Yoshida,
Yeah, there you go.
is addressing VR by outlining many of the problems with early VR headsets and noting that it's an evolving process. While it wasn't too specific, he did say that PlayStation would be improving upon the limited 180-degree tracking system and to help prevent motion sickness. There's currently no word on a successor to the current PSVR headset, but if this is to be believed, it sounds like they're at least thinking about what a successor would be.
Mm-hmm.
This is smart because I was actually listening to a podcast this week where they were talking about how even the new models just are still causing people problems. Like, they just cannot nail down the PlayStation VR for whatever reason. Whereas the more fancy sets, the PC sets, like, I don't see people having the same problems. For whatever reason, people just have constant issues with PSVR.
Right. I was also listening to a separate podcast where their big problem with VR was that it still had to be hooked up to something else, either a heavy PC or the PlayStation. It had to be plugged in.
Yeah. What they want probably is like the systems in the headset.
Which there is something out there. It is the it is the Oculus Rift Lite version, Oculus Go.
The only problem with that, though, is that you can't have the fidelity that you can have with the PC versions. Right.
The graphics for the Oculus Go are very limited, it only works at maximum 2 to 2.5 hours.
Yeah, my understanding about that thing is it's essentially the same quality as your Samsung Gear VR.
Right.
And it doesn't really go beyond that.
Right,
just
but at least you don't...
a phone.
Yeah, but, I mean... I have that right there, $20 VR thing where you put your phone in and you run a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, VR is a moving target. I think that's where the CEO is absolutely correct here.
Yes.
Is that it's not, it's definitely not a mastered science quite yet. And yeah, these companies, including Sony and Oculus, will continue trying to improve the experience over time.
Yes. Early, in the interview, he did mention that there may be something about VR and AR combination with a la the Microsoft HoloLens, but they will continue to work on and improve, but they do not have a set timetable for any future VR related gadgets,
something like that.
peripherals.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for.
We'll see if there's a standalone Sony something that's not PlayStation related anytime soon. Might happen.
I would see that happening if it's not PlayStation branded,
but rather Sony. Oculus that would hook up to his PC.
Something that is Sony branded that you can.
I can see that.
Yeah, I could see that.
All right, let's move on to our next story here, which is about a new developer on the scene. New developer called Athlon Games.
Who?
Owned by the same. They're new. That's why I haven't heard of them. Athlon Games are new, and they're under the same house as Digital Extremes. They're owned by Leiyu Technologies Holding Limited. Digital Extremes, by the way, made Warframe, the popular free-to-play game. Mm-hmm. And also, they also own Splash Damage, which was one of the developers that was helping with Gears of War 4.
I think they were the multiplayer aspect of Gears of War.
I believe you are correct. Well, these guys are already making big moves. Athlon Games has signed a deal already with Middle-earth Enterprises to publish a multi-year online game based on Lord of the Rings.
Wait, this is not Middle-earth Online?
No, it's a new online game based on Lord of the Rings. They were formed in May of 2018, so just a few months ago, and they're headed up by Dave Miller, formerly of Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, which makes sense because that's somebody who probably would have worked on those
the
Shadow
Warner
of
Brothers
War game.
Yeah, a Warner Brothers IP.
Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. So yeah, he would know the IP. So yeah, that's exciting potentially for Lord of the Rings fans.
Yeah.
A new online game. See how that works out.
It should. I mean, it's a new developer, which means they are starting from scratch. They have no models. They have no story. They are literally, hey, we want you to do this. Can you make it in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
And
I want to add a story in between here, real quick.
About Nintendo?
No, but yeah, that we should also talk about that. Did you see the date for that?
That's tomorrow.
Okay, that's tomorrow.
Yes. So we didn't mention it last week, but I brought it up before the podcast.
Yeah.
Nintendo was supposed to do a direct last Thursday.
Right.
Supposedly to announce the Nintendo Online, their subscription. But then a huge earthquake happened, and they postponed it immediately. Yeah. Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Japan. But Nintendo, I mean, it shook the Nintendo building to where the end fell off. That's how big the earthquake was.
Yeah. The end fell off. It was Nintendo.
Yes, it was Nintendo. As it intended.
Yep.
So they announced that the Direct will instead be tomorrow, from when we're doing the podcast live. It'll be Thursday. And so we'll have Nintendo news next week.
Indeed. But the other thing I wanted to mention real quick here.
Oh, it was about the Smash Brothers, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Nintendo and Smash Brothers are going around to college football games and doing live demos
That's not news.
to do that. Okay.
No,
is it the other Nintendo thing?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with Nintendo.
Oh, all right.
Jesus, let me speak. Just real quick, this is kind of a follow-up, actually, to our story last week, 2 weeks ago, about THQ Nordic and their endless purchase
acquisitions
of IP.
I saw this.
Yes.
I didn't want to do it because
I wanted to mention it because it's
I didn't know who they were.
It's one of my favorite stories in video game history. I love this news story, and anytime I get to mention it. So, famous baseball pitcher Curt Schilling, once upon a time, after his baseball career was over, decided to make a video game company called 38 Studios.
Yes.
That video game company ended up putting out one console RPG, Kingdoms of Amalur, which actually was pretty popular enough to get as a sequel. Both games were well received, but then the rest of their existence was reliant on a MMO that never was released. So it was basically people working forever on something that never came to light. The other side of that story is that the state of Rhode Island let them borrow a bunch of money in order to keep afloat. Well, after the studio imploded, they realized the game was never going to be made and were out of all that money. Rhode Island got pissed and sued them and took them to court over all the unpaid from the loan. So basically, Curt Schilling's reputation as a video game publisher was ruined. 38 Studios dissolved, and Rhode Island basically, to this day, this is a fun fact I learned over the last couple of days about this story. To this day, when people run for political office in Rhode Island, this case is brought up a lot because it's basically people in the government saying, unlike those idiots, we aren't going to do something like that. Like, we saw what happened with 38 Studios. We won't waste our money. Like, it's still a talking point 6 years after the studio imploded. It's insane. Well, anyways, it was brought up again this week because THQ Nordic has purchased the rights to the Kingdoms of Amalur franchise. So basically, if they want to re-release those games, they can.
Okay.
And also to presumably at least some of the assets from that MMO that never was released. So yeah, I just thought that was a fun story. And yeah, anytime I get to mention the 38 Studios disaster, I will, because it's hilarious to me.
It is.
But yeah, I wanted to insert that. But then our last story is a little fun one. This is real quick.
Yes.
Do you like cars?
I like cars.
Do you like James Bond?
I like fast cars.
That's not what I asked.
Okay.
Do you like cars is question 1. Question 2, do you like James Bond?
I like James Bond.
Do you like both of those things together, like peanut butter and chocolate?
You mean like an Aston Martin?
Sure, yes. Just like an Aston Martin. You could drive James Bond's Aston Martin in Forza 4. Because...
Forza Horizon 4.
Horizon 4.
These are different games than
Yes,
Forza
it's
4.
different. Forza 4 is...
One,
At
yes.
this point. But yeah, James Bond's most famous cars will be available to drive as part of a new add-on pack for the game. The Best of Bond car pack will feature 10 vehicles from across 50 years of popular films. Vehicles include a range of classic Aston Martin models,
Yep.
sure enough, including the DB5, made famous by Sean Connery, the BMW Z8 from World Is Not Enough,
And the Jaguar from
Jaguar.
Solstice.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
Several of the cars will also feature film-inspired gadgets, such as a revolving number plate and extendable bumper rams. That's fun.
That's fun.
Forza Horizon 4 is available in store online on Game Pass on October 2nd, so keep an eye out for that.
Yes.
Alright, that does it for regular video game news, which means we finally get to move on to thoughts. And yes, we've been playing a video game this week, and man,
Yes.
is it a video game.
We've been playing a video game.
Alright, so the big release this week, of
All right.
course.
Got to warm up here.
Because we hit the hour and a half mark just now, and we haven't even started talking about this.
It's
game.
fine.
We have to talk about...
We're at 120. We're at 125.
Oh, it's not started late, that's right.
Yeah.
We have to talk about everybody's favorite friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man.
Marvel's Spider-Man, I believe, is the official title of this game.
No, it is actually just Spider-Man, brought to you by Marvel
Brought to
and
you
Insomniac Games.
Yes, Insomniac Games, the people who brought you
Ratchet and Clank.
classics like Ratchet and Clank, Spyro,
Spyro
the Dragon,
Dragon.
and the oft-forgotten, but I enjoyed it,
Sunset Overdrive. Which is funny because every article I read mentions
Mentions
Sunset
Sunset
Overdrive.
Overdrive.
It's like, man, they should do that again.
There's
Oh, wait, they can't.
Definitely some, but that being said, there's definitely some Sunset Overdrive in the DNA of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Spider-Man game.
And I think that is perfect.
One of the reasons why it's so good.
Yes.
That's the one thing I want to get across. We both are really enjoying this game.
Yes.
Completely separately. But we haven't even talked about it. I specifically did not talk to him about it.
Yes.
Because I wanted to save it for this podcast. But I have
but-
been having a whole lot of fun with this thing.
So I'm further ahead of him in the story, and he covered
I don't want to
himself.
see spoilers.
Susie didn't want to see spoilers. It's that good.
So you can start because you got to play it pretty much on launch night. And
Yes.
You were also the one who was looking forward to this thing. This was on your radar.
Yes.
I thought it looked cool, but I was like, this doesn't seem like the kind of game I would get into.
This was on my radar.
I was wrong.
Long. So first off, this wasn't on my radar.
Okay.
The only reason I was in any interest and had any interest in this thing at all.
Because that's
it was
Spider-Man in it?
no, it was because of Insomniac Games.
Yeah.
Because of the relationship they built with me, with Spyro, with Sunset Overdrive, with Ratchet and Clank. Because of that gamer developer relationship, I had interest in this game.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
It's a
I
funny,
want.
it's a funny term.
It is. But because the studio has built such goodwill
Yeah.
with me as a gamer that I put this on my radar because I was going to give it a chance.
Yeah.
I was going to Redbox this thing.
And then I convinced you to buy it because
Yes.
I was like, well, I've been hearing a bunch about this, and it seems like it's got a lot of content. And holy crap, was I right.
And yeah.
I am so glad we bought this because we'll be playing this for the next few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
If not more.
Oh, yes. Much like my enthusiasm when Horizon came out, when
Yes.
God of War came out, this meets and exceeds all those expectations I had for this
For
game.
sure. Yeah, 100%.
Immediately it launches you right into a boss battle. Well, not necessarily a boss battle, but
Yeah,
a boss level of sorts to introduce your game, introduce the game mechanics. And That's how you start off this game.
Yeah.
And then right after you complete it, it immediately opens up the world to you. It literally says, okay, here's all of Manhattan.
Yeah. Here's New York. Have fun.
Have fun. Go at it.
Yeah.
You can do all this stuff, but we'll also sprinkle in a bunch of stuff around for you to do. A lot of side quests, a lot
So
of
it's an
mini
open
events.
world game, is basically what you're saying.
Yes.
And that sounds worrying because we've had a lot of those in the last few years. Seems like we were even talking about earlier this year on this very podcast about how people were getting open world game fatigue.
Yes.
After Horizon kind of came and went, kind of at the end of the year there, people kind of forgot it existed.
Right.
People were too busy with other open world games, and about the Ubisoft games relying too much on open world cliches as a crutch.
Right.
We were worried that there wasn't going to be another really great open world game.
Well,
Well,
we're wrong.
this one does a good job of
It
fixing
puts it-
a lot of those issues.
It puts it in the right setting, and it makes traversing fun.
Which is the thing that they learned, and again, from Sunset
Overdrive.
Overdrive, is that if you make side quests are a lot more, like you'll want to do side quests a lot more if it's fun getting from point A to point B, and Spider-Man does that.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I noticed that no side quest is exactly the same.
Right.
And that's one thing that I think helps from the power of the PlayStation. I sound like an ad there,
Yeah, you
but
did a little bit there.
but I think that's true because unlike what Sunset Overdrive, where it's you're doing this mission
Yeah.
out again and again. It's just this mission, but in this area. This mission, but in this area. Each mission in so far that I've come across in Spider-Man that is not the bad guys are here, beat everyone up. Everything outside of that has been a different mission for the same basically subset of missions.
And one of the neat things that it does is that it has a lot of different kinds of side content, but it doesn't give it to you all at once.
No.
One of the cool things about this, and I've never seen an open world game do it like this, where it's basically like at the beginning of the game, it's like, here's like 3 or 4 different variants on this. Save people from the back of a car.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a robbery happening. Take those people down. Or chase down a car as it's driving away and like whip people out of their driving and stop the car really fast.
Or someone's locked in a truck. You gotta find them.
And then for a while, those are like the 4 things you can do.
Right.
But then as the story progresses and the game gives you more reasons for Spider-Man to do other stuff, then you're taking pictures of landmarks. Then there's stuff later about like pigeons. It's
Yes.
like it just
Yes.
keeps going as the game
There's
progresses.
a side mission about pigeons. There's a side mission about Harry Osborn. There's a side mission about Black Cat.
Yeah.
There's a side mission about the actual main game. The actual main story has
Yeah.
a side quest in it to stop them.
Which is a good pivot to the actual story here.
Yes.
Because that was another welcome surprise for me. I did not expect it to be like full on like
Spider-Man lore.
story in this game. Like it's not just we need an excuse for Spider-Man to be in this space. We need an excuse for Spider-Man to do this and fight this villain and like check off this list of villains,
Mhm.
which I was worried it was going to be.
Right.
No, instead it tells like a really good Spider-Man story. It involves all the classic characters, Mary Jane Watson, as you mentioned, the Osborns, both
Osborns.
Harry and the Norman,
Norman.
who is mayor,
Who's mayor.
in this chronology.
Yes.
In this chronology.
Yes, and that's another fun thing about this, that because it's Marvel New York,
Mm-hmm.
one, Norman Osborn is mayor. 2, Peter Parker is working with Otto Octavius.
He's also older Peter Parker
Older,
here.
yes.
He is a post-grad
Post-grad.
Peter Parker. He's
Yes.
not in high school. He's not even in college. He's not in school.
Yes, and because this is also Marvel New York, Marvel landmarks are within the New
Yes.
York
You
settings.
can straight up see Avengers Tower in this game.
You can climb Avengers Tower. You can climb literally everything in this game.
Yeah.
It's great.
You should if you're Spider-Man.
Yeah, you should. I was standing on top of the Chrysler building earlier when you saw me.
I recommend jumping off the Empire State Building. Because Spider-Man, not like in real life. I mean, hold on. I don't mean I recommend that you jump off this, but I mean, I recommend that you as Spider-Man jump off the Empire State Building.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Oh, and because yesterday was 9/11 Memorial,
Oh, yeah.
there is indeed an Easter egg within Spider-Man of the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Off of some of the glass mirrors on one of the buildings,
Yeah.
where the Twin Towers would have stood
Yeah.
in the New York City.
It's a neat little thing, neat
Yeah.
little addition. But anyways, back to the story though. I'm liking it so far. It seems like it goes some interesting places a little later. There is kind of a more like, okay, there's an evil organization, I'm gonna find out more, which is kind of like the more predictable side of the story. But the cool part of the story is his interaction with these characters that you know. Like, his dynamic with Mary Jane is really interesting. It's kind of in this like post-breakup kind of thing with them.
Yeah.
And so it's got a vibe of a will they, won't they deal. I like the character of
Did you get to the Stanley cameo?
I did get to the Stanley cameo.
That was fun.
Which is a very Stanley cameo.
It
It's
is.
exactly what you think it would be.
And he has a really great line in
It's
it too,
good,
which I'm
yeah.
not going to spoil, but it's really like
It's a good
heartfelt.
moment.
It's a good one.
It's a good moment in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's also I love the relationship between him and the officer who's helping him over
Jefferson Davis.
No, not Jefferson Davis. I haven't met Jefferson Davis yet.
Oh,
There's a character in this
Yuri.
game called Jefferson Davis.
Yes.
I'm
No,
talking
Officer
about-
Yuri.
What's her name? Yeah,
Yuri.
yeah. She's fun, and their dynamic is fun.
Yes.
Back and forth. This stupid spider cop voice he does
Yeah.
is hilarious.
No, once you unlock all the stuff, then the Spider Cop voice goes away.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but as you're unlocking all the cell towers or the police towers,
Yeah.
he'll do the Spider Cop as you're going to it.
I've been doing, and that's the thing is I found myself doing nothing but stupid side stuff
Oh,
because
yeah.
I just like moving from place to place
Oh, yeah.
and just checking those boxes while I'm doing them. Except for one,
Which ones?
I am terrible at finding the backpacks.
Oh,
I am awful at it. I don't know why. It's like, so they remind me a lot of the beacons in Infamous Second Son.
Yes.
Where it's like, here, we're just going to tell you the vague area that this is in, and then you actually have to basically whack your head against something until you find the exact corner that they're in.
You know, if you press R3, it'll glow yellow.
Oh. No, I did not know that.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That'll help.
Yes. Pressing L3 activates your spider sense.
Got it.
And then it'll do the spider sense thing, and it'll glow yellow.
Okay.
Like, hey, this is where you need to go. Hey, this is where it's at.
Oh, now I know. So I was making it harder for myself.
Yeah.
I was basically trying to just use the audio cue.
Oh.
And it was like, so I was like going up and down buildings constantly looking for these frickin' backpacks.
No.
Okay, well that explains it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it's like, that's the thing, and that's interesting that we're talking about something so small in a game that has so much else going on, which is just a testament to how just fun even the tiny things are. in this
Right. And according to the game, it gives you a percentage each time you load in. I'm only 44% done.
Yeah.
But I think I may be further because I'm collecting everything as I go along.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I try to, if I'm like on my way to something, I try to get everything on the way over there. I feel like I've gotten most of the towers already.
Yeah.
Because they're just so close, they're close enough to each other where you can go from tower to tower pretty easily and just kind of roll through all the zones.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I do have to admit though, some of the like robbery stuff is getting a little tedious for me, but that's because I haven't unlocked a lot of the like extra side missions.
Right, but here's the other thing. Once you completely clear an area of all those basically like robbery stuff,
Right.
they won't come back in that area.
Yeah.
It just stops. It's
Right.
5 per area of the 12 areas, so it's 60 missions in total. But then they just stop. They don't do that anymore. Then what they do smartly is they technically upgrade it to the next
Right.
tier. But that's only after you've unlocked it within the story mission itself.
That's good. So yeah, it's like and stuff like that. We should probably talk about the combat.
I would say that's one
We've
thing.
kind of been talking around it.
Yes.
The
So
combat's a lot of fun in this game.
they use flow motion from Batman, which is really smart and really fun.
I'm
in
glad
this
you
game.
brought up Batman because it's very Arkham.
Yes.
Like the combat does borrow pretty heavily. Not only the brawling stuff too, but even some of the stealth stuff feels very Batman.
Oh yeah.
Like down to Spider-Man has a very similar attack from the Eves move.
Right. You can attack from the shadows
Yeah.
essentially, or you can tie people up.
Right.
Which is fun when they're not looking. That does to not alert other
A
people.
lot of people on the internet are complaining about the stealth stuff in this game.
No.
It seems like a lot of people don't enjoy it.
Oh, I enjoy it. I try and do the stealth as much as I can.
I kind of go back and forth. I've been going back and forth as the game's progressing because I liked the bit where it actually kind of in-depth explained all the stealth mechanics. So I was like, okay, some of this seems interesting. I really like the idea of, I can press R3 to find out basically, is it safe to get this guy or is it dangerous if somebody else will notice? Because that's key, because it helps from basically getting into really bad situations if you didn't know that somebody was looking right at you.
Yeah.
There's neat little tiny things like that in their mechanics. So I like that it was all explained.
Right. There's
but
also
I could probably understand somebody who's like, yeah, but I want to get to the fun thing, which is beating people up all cool.
Yes. Well, because the fighting is very cool and it's very easy to continuous the combo. I mean, at one point I got to 99 combo.
That's cool.
But then I ran out of enemies, so I couldn't hit the 100. I was like, oh, come on!
Yeah, there's some really cool combos that you can do just like by hitting and then webbing and then shooting webs.
And speaking of shooting webs, that brings us to the next point.
Yeah.
Gadgets in this thing are freaking
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
There's spider bombs to web up everyone. You can web people straight to the wall to immediately eliminate them. Continuous webs, shocking webs. There's a lot of good stuff in this thing, and that's brings us to the next point, the skill tree. There's a skill tree in here to up your powers, up your focus, and it's great. It feels like they took the best parts of every open world game that was out there, just cherry picked a little bit of everything and meshed it well together.
I kept thinking while I was playing this, it feels like a really good middle ground between like the Batman games and the Infamous games.
Yeah.
I know that those are Sucker Punch. That's a different studio, but this feels
well, it's Sucker Punch and Rockstar.
But yeah, but
those are two good two studios if you're going to follow something.
It really feels like an Infamous game, which is really weird because like you wouldn't think that they would be borrowing so much from that kind of game.
Well, I think the traversing through the city
it really feels like an Infamous game to me. Complete with the whole like the feeling of being where Spider-Man lands on something, he really lands on it and gets stuck to a thing, which is a very Sucker Punch design. And I'm really glad that Insomniac took inspiration from it. I mean, they both have the reputation of both at one point being the second party Sony studio.
Right.
Neither of them are anymore, I think. Maybe Sucker Punch is still?
I think Sucker Punch
still is under the Sony umbrella. Insomniac was the one who branched out.
Yes.
It seems like yes. Remember?
Yes, because
the whole thing before Sunset Overdrive. That's why Sunset Overdrive happened, is because they weren't a Sony studio anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it has a lot of that DNA in it, but it has all the superhero stuff that you'd get from like a Batman game, combined with the open world traversal stuff that you'd want. It's a really good. I think you're onto something when you're saying it's a really good combination of all sorts of the best of open world games in a way. It's not perfect. I think that, like I said, some of the side missions happen a little too much. Sometimes the bigger, the burlier thugs are not that fun to fight.
Oh, no.
Because you kind of have to back up and shoot them a bunch of times.
Yes, you have to web them up in order to get them.
And that makes it tedious.
Yes. The big guys and being outnumbered can be very tedious, and dying can be very... it can be very, troublesome. But it's not as troublesome because it doesn't immediately throw you back to the mission.
And that's another thing I want to talk about, is that I'm playing on the easiest difficulty.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to bother with dying all the time. And I'm actually happy that I did. So I'm not struggling with this game. I'm having a lot more fun, I think, because I'm not whacking my head against every encounter like I could be. And and that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I feel like for all sorts of tangents with this game. There's so much to talk about. But if you ever wanted a game to really go deep into accessibility options, this is the game that finally does it.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, check out the accessibility menu, because it's amazing how granular things get. That you can make the subtitles bigger, you can change the color of the subtitles, you can completely eliminate the need to do puzzles. You can straight up turn puzzles off.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
If you want. And that's really good, because some people, if they're playing this game, they're not going to want to take a break and play frickin' slide pipe puzzle.
No, I like those.
I do too, but I could see some person
Oh, yeah.
not, and this gives them the option. Also, a really good accessibility option for people with like repetitive fatigue in their fingers.
Mhm.
You can change the repetitive tap commands to hold down commands,
Mhm.
which is really good because there are a lot of people with finger injuries where that's a really tough movement for them to do. And so yeah, it's really cool to see such a mainstream big budget game go really big on the accessibility options, and I hope that this goes forward with other franchises as well. But I just wanted to mention that real quick. But yeah.
Okay, if you could describe the Spider-Man game in a couple words.
A couple words.
1 to 2.
Jeez. Superhero openness. Because it's just, you get to be, it's one of the better superhero games that I've played because you really do feel like there's all sorts of things at your disposal that you can do at any given time, and you feel badass doing anything.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
I was going to go with traversal scope.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because
Let's
just
move around.
swinging around is fun. Just climbing up buildings is fun.
Because I feel like in a lot of
And the fact that it is a I think it was a 1/10 scale
yeah,
to actual Manhattan, and you can, I mean, it shows. You can walk around Times Square if you want, take pictures with people. It's fun.
yeah. I mean, it goes to show that like in other older open world games, I would often find myself at the edge of the worlds.
Yes.
I would often be like, okay, this is where I have to turn around, or I can't go any further here because it's just water. That has yet to happen to me in this game.
Well, because
I haven't hit the end.
because Manhattan is an island
Right.
itself, I feel like it does that really well. I've yet to try and go over any of the bridges.
Yeah, me neither. I
Uh,
haven't gotten to
but-
a bridge yet.
But every time I look out over the bridge, there's no city for me to swing in.
But
It
yeah.
goes flat. So I think because Spider-Man is a traversal hero,
Yeah.
he works
He's
well.
known for movement. Yes.
He works really well in big city New York. Which is funny because, like, a lot of the tweets I see is like, oh, you think Spider-Man's such a great hero? Let's see him fight crime in Austin. Or let's see him fight Detroit.
But yeah, I mean, I guess to wrap up kind of my feelings about it, like, I'm surprised how much I'm liking the open world stuff in it, because I thought I was burnt out too. I'm surprised how much I'm liking the combat in it, because I thought it was going to be too Batman-y. I never really got into the Batman games.
Yeah.
And I also thought it wasn't going to deliver on the story. And all three I've been wrong on. It delivers on all of it. I think this version of Spider-Man is really good version of Spider-Man. I like his personality.
Yes.
I like his quips.
Yeah, I don't know if we brought that up.
I like all
but-
the characters that he interacts with.
Yeah, speaking of the interaction, I don't know if we brought this up, but I like the dynamic between both having Spider-Man and Peter Parker as
like
unique characters.
even though they're the same dude. And they do play around with that in the game. Also, yeah, we didn't even talk about the different suits you can wear.
Oh yes,
It's really cool. Like, there's all sorts of suits from all different kinds of generations and versions of Spider-Man that you can wear.
is there one that you're fond of?
So I've been sticking with the punk Spider-Man.
Punk
look.
Spider-Man.
I like his vest and all those buttons. I might switch to something else. I don't know, but that one, and also I like that the sound wave power. It's
Yeah,
pretty
I like that.
You don't have to
I was gonna
wear the
mention
suit
that.
that's associated with the power,
I
which
was
is
gonna mention
nice.
that.
You can wear anything you want, just aesthetically, and
Yes.
put whatever power activated that you want. It's just you unlock the power with the outfit, but they're not connected to each other.
I found that whenever I'm playing in any of the night missions,
Yeah,
I wear either Spider-Man Noir or any of the dark suits.
yeah.
And then when
I
it comes
think
to
the Noir
day,
one looks dumb though. I hate his goggles. So stupid
it's
looking.
funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime it goes to the day, I go to either I unlock the Tom Holland
Yeah.
Spider-Man Dark suit, or the new Spider-Man suit that they created for this game.
Right. It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, last things you want to say about it, since I kind of did my wrap up. How I feel. I'm just surprised by it, and I'm surprised how
It's-
much I like it.
It's got a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah.
the traverse, like, just the fluid motion of the movement is one of the best things about this game because
It's fun
if
to
you
play.
don't get that right in a Spider-Man game, the game fails.
Right.
Period.
You miss the swinging mechanic in a Spider-Man game, and you miss the entire game.
Right.
Like, you just have no reason to play it.
I like that there is a limit to how high you can go. Well, there's a limit to how high you can go, but it's not like you're shooting off into the air or something. It's actually hitting onto something to make you swing.
Which
and
they've been doing for a while, but still. It's
yeah,
cool.
and also Spider-Man can swim.
Yeah. You
But
don't die
you
with
don't
the water.
I know, which is kind of dumb to say,
But it's true.
but it's true. You don't.
Video games, you don't know these days, man.
I know. Like one of the first things you do in a video game is run through the fire. How much does it
How
hurt
much
me?
does it hurt you?
Jump in the water. Does it kill me?
Yeah, anything else?
On a patent media boat scale.
Oh, we don't do that for video games, but yes, this is definitely something we recommend.
Oh yeah, this is, I highly recommend.
I would say
Go buy it.
give this a try if
Yes.
you like Spider-Man at all, because this is actually getting me interested in Spider-Man the character more so than I think I've ever been. Went on a Wikipedia deep dive, which I always regret doing with comic books, especially
Yeah.
because it's like endless.
Oh,
I'm
it
like,
is.
There's way too much information.
There's a lot of side stories.
And
on
I
other
hate,
stories.
and I start hating
Other
it as
worlds.
I keep reading it. I'm like, ugh, I hate all this stupid Earth 65 version of Spider-Man. Oh no, this is the 20XD whatever version of Spider-Man. Oh no, this is a completely different sequel universe. And this is the one where he's a lady, and this is the one where there's two ladies.
Oh.
This is one where the lady isn't Spider-Man, the lady is Deadpool. And
Well,
I'm just like, my
that's-
brain is starting to hurt.
Well, that's getting you primed for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
It kind of was, actually. I was looking at a lot of these. Then I ended up at the Spider Ham page and found out that there are literal animal versions of every single one of these characters, and that's when I gave up. I was like, all right, I'm done. There's animal versions of one of the funniest ones. There was an animal version of Mary Jane, who was a water buffalo named Mary Jane Water Buffalo. And I was like,
Watson.
I have read too much of this. Can't do this anymore. Comic books are the worst. But yeah, it's a fun game. Is I think what we're trying to say.
Yeah. Definitely a fun game. Definitely Redbox this thing to give it a try. If you don't like the traversal, what is wrong with you? If you don't like the combat, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Definitely.
But man, what a killer year for games this is.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is a way stronger year for video games than last year.
Yeah.
Already. We have, like, even in the last month, we had Donut County and Spider-Man.
Right.
And then before that, WarioWare. Before that, God of War. Before, like, we have so many games this year to talk about. It's going to be an interesting final list.
I know. I mean, as we're both gushing about Spider-Man, I have a feeling that may be our top. But
I don't know. I feel
don't
like you
know,
have quite an argument for
God of War. I have
Yeah.
huge arguments for God of War.
And I will go to bat for Donut County, and you know I will.
I know you will.
So yeah, that's exciting. Video games are good, guys.
Yeah.
You should play them.
We're in good times for video games.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alright.
if you want to see me
Play
through
Spider-Man.
some Spider-Man, I did play a little bit today. I skipped, which means I did not stream probably one of the major twists
That's probably
in the
good.
game.
Yeah.
But I will be picking that, streaming that sometime. I've been doing all the side missions off camera, off stream, and then doing the story on stream.
Okay. So yeah, that's twitch.tv/MediaBoat.
Yeah, plug us away.
If you want to watch us play video games, but we have more things to plug as well. This has been, in case you're wondering, the MediaBoat Podcast. We are live every Wednesday night on this YouTube channel at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, give or take. We were a little late for today. But yeah, that's where you can see all our episodes as they happen live. If you'd rather listen to them in an audio format, we got you covered there too. Our podcast is the Media Boat Podcast, and it's on Apple Podcasts as well as any RSS feed driven podcast catcher you got. Just type in Media Boat Podcast and you'll find us. You can also find us on social media. We are on Twitter at MediaBoatCast. You'll find posts every time we go live there as well. You will find us on Facebook, our Facebook page. You just search Media Boat Podcast and you'll find us, like and comment. You can also find us on Patreon if you want to help us out with money. You You can donate as little as $1 a month, and you can help us make content even better than it already is. MediaBoatPodcast.com is where you can see our written material. Maybe we'll write something about Spider-Man. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll figure something out. And then, lastly, did I cover everything?
The Twitter?
I did the Twitter.
That's
I guess I
everything.
covered everything. It was just, I thought there was something else. So yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it for this
Edition.
edition of the Media Boat
episode.
Podcast. We'll be back next week for another one. So, till then, have a good week, guys.
Yep, we'll be playing more Spider-Man. We'll be back next week with the Emmys wrap
Yep,
up.
we'll talk
Maybe
about
we'll have a
Emmys.
movie.
We'll talk about
Cry,
music, I'm sure.
Cry Pretty from Carrie Underwood. Some more football
more
news.
Spider-Man,
More
too.
Spider-Man as well.
Not Spider-Man 2. More Spider-Man.
Yes.
We'll not talk about the movies.
Yes.
Spider-Man.
God, that's another thing about Spider-Man. The photo mode.
It's good.
Yes, follow us on
good.
Twitter. I've been
Yes.
posting photos of me and Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff.
You
like
Spider-Man.
like saying hi to Uncle Ben and just
Aw.
being like creative pictures with the sunset and everything. It's so beautiful and fun. But yeah, Spider-Man, check it out. We'll be back next week with more content. Thank you all for listening. Bye. God, Spider-Man is such a good game.
It's so good.
All right, real briefly, I think we covered everything on the chat. Sport TV is all that matters. Willie Nelson, 85. We saw him on his 84th birthday at Stagecoach last year. Fun fact. Also, that VR though. Talking to VR lady.
She's the one.
She's the VR lady.
All right.
But yeah,
That'll do it.
Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. Come chat with us live. We will read your comments, respond to you.
Sure.
Yes, you specifically.
Yes,
if
you.
you watch us live.
Yes, you.
That's 8 o'clock Pacific time. Subscribe, ring the bell. We'll also follow us on Twitter when we go live. That's everything. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you
week.
for
Bye.
listening. Bye-bye.